Okay, your cries to hear theories have been heard. I'm sorry I've been off for the holidays, but let's get into it. And I included the note for context because it just makes it so much easier. Alright, as much as I don't love reading this note, let's go through it. Dad and Sarah, when you dropped me off at school today, I decided I really am going to California. Sarah, you didn't want me around. Look, you got it. I'm gone. That's why I saved my money. Dad, I took $300 from you, Alissa. So let's break it down. As a refresher, the analyst for the National Center for Missing Exploited Children who analyzed this note has decided that it is Alissa's handwriting, and I agree. But let's talk about the inconsistencies line by line, really. Dad and Sarah, when you dropped me off at school today, I didn't drop her off at school. I was not with my dad that morning. Some mornings that would happen. I think if I'd stayed up all night or for some reason was just up early, it was pretty rare, but I think it did happen to the best of my knowledge. And I'll get back to that. Right now, we're going line by line. Sarah, you said you didn't want me around. You got it. I'm gone. I have to imagine I probably did say something like that, much to my regret now, obviously. But me and Alissa fought a lot. We fought all the time. And I'm sure I did say something of, if you don't like it here, just leave. I'm sure I said that, unfortunately. That's why I saved my money that was never taken out of her bank account, about $2,000 that was never touched after she was gone. Dad, I took $300 from you. That is real. That happened not long before Alissa went missing. She did actually take $300 from our dad. I don't know why, but she was caught. This was something that I was begging them to bring up in trial, but for whatever reason, they didn't bring up a lot in trial. But my brother John remembers this. Alissa took $300 from my dad, got caught. He my brother John chastised her, don't do that, whatever. And she ended up giving the money back. So let's go on to theories. So as I said in the last video, the person who did the handwriting analysis on this note believes that it was written at 2 different times, and I believe so too. And that's because of the California conversation. Also, the dropping her off at school, it just didn't happen on the day she went missing, so it sounds like she's referencing a different day. But in terms of going to California, this was a really heavy conversation that Alissa and my father had close to a year before she went missing. This is when he called CPS and said, my daughter's going to call and accuse me of terrible things, and I did not do them. But at this time, the conversation was being had about Alissa going to California to go live with our aunt. So that's where everything with California comes from. But Alissa didn't want to live with her. Rest in peace to our Aunt Lynette. She's no longer with us. But we didn't know her. And I remember Alissa and I having conversations about how upset we were about that. There were some things that happened that we were upset at her about, and she didn't want to go live with our Aunt Lynette. And as far as I know, that never changed. She wanted to stay with me. She wanted to stay with our dad. She wanted to stay with her brother. She didn't want to leave and go somewhere new. So that's mainly the reason I think that this was written on 2 different days, because this whole California conversation happened so much longer before the taking the $300. These incidents are at least 6 months apart. So why this would even happen, I don't know. But it sounds like he found this note. This is my theory, and I've said this to his face, that he found this note that says, Dad and Sarah, when you dropped me off at school today, I decided I really am going to California. Sarah, you said you didn't want me around. You got it. I'm gone. That could have all been written on the same day. And my dad just found it and was like, really? You're going to leave? Okay, finish it. Talk about why you took the money. Dad, that's why I saved my money. Again, she never took it. Dad, I took $300 from you. Those events just didn't happen in order. So I believe in my heart that he found part of the note and somehow forced her to write the other half that was more current. And I'm telling you, when that handwriting expert said that they thought it was written on 2 different days, my heart about dropped. Now, that's just the theory on the note. There are so many other theories, and now that I can talk about Alissa's case, I am happy to. I am an open book if you guys have any other questions. But it is such a detailed, long, crazy case that I really do have to break it down piece by piece like this. But that is the runaway note. I will also say that I always thought that this A was weird. Alissa always wrote in a large lowercase a. And then at trial, Jamie Jackson so politely shoved my dad's defense attorney shoved other writings of Alissa's in my face that had the capital A, so I will take that back. Apparently she did write with the capital A all the time. I was wrong about that. I'm okay admitting that, Mr. Jamie Jackson. But yeah, let me know what you guys want to hear next. I'm happy to break anything down, and thank you for your questions.